Alright, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to solve a division problem that has a remainder in the quotient, or a remainder in the answer. And then we are going to do inverse operation to check our answer. So I have the division checklist over here, has our steps for division. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Really? Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, repeat, or remainder. We have our t-chart because 4 is our divisor. We use the t-chart for the 4. Question for division step. How many times will blank go into blank without going over? And then we're going to solve it and then do inverse operation. So our first step is division. How many times will 4 go into 3 without going over? So I'm going to come over. How many times will 4 go into 3 without going over? So I come over here, I go down this row, and I look for the number that's closest to 4 without, or closest to 3 without going over. The first one here, 4, that goes over it, so I go to 0. So 4 will not go into 3 because 4 is bigger than 3. So now I come over and I just look at the 31. Okay, I'm just looking at the 31. How many times will 4 go into 31 without going over? So I come over to my t-chart and I find the number that's closest to 31 without going over. And if I come here, 32 is greater than 31, so I go to 28. And the question is how many times? So I come over to the time side. So 4 will go into 31 7 times without going over. So then I multiply 7 times 4 is 28, and then I subtract. Okay, and I have to borrow. 11 minus 8 is 3, and then 2 minus 2 would be 0. So then I subtracted. Now I check. Is 3 smaller than 4? Yes, so that checks out. Because if that answer was bigger than our divisor, then we could have fit another one in there. So now I bring down. So I'm going to bring down the 5. So now I switch up my question here, so I always have this up to date, so I'm asking myself the right thing. How many times will 4 go into 35 without going over? How many times will 4 go into 35 without going over? So I come over here, I'm looking for the number that's closest to 35 without going over, and that would be 36. And how many times will 4 go into 35? It'll go in 8 times. Or 32, I'm sorry. 32 is a number closest to 35 without going over. So it'll go in 8 times. So then I multiply 8 times 4 is 32. And then I subtract. 35 minus 32 is 3. I check again. Is 3 smaller than 4? Yes, so that checks out. There's nothing else to bring down, so I don't repeat, I remainder. So I have remainder 3. So my answer for this problem, okay, remember a division problem, the answer is up here. So 315 divided by 4 equals 78, remainder 3. So now I'm going to check to make sure that's correct. Now remember, when we divide, we're taking a number, okay, in this case it's 315, and we divided it into smaller equal groups. So we divided it into 4 smaller equal groups, and we had 78 in each of those groups with 3 leftovers. So now we're going to put it all back together, and again I'm going to use traditional method for my inverse operation. 4 times 8, okay, 4 times 8, 32. So I write my 2 and I carry my 3. 4 times 7, 4 times 7, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, but now we can't forget about our remainder when we do inverse operation. So now I need to add on whatever my remainder was, and that would be 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and 3. So because my answer to inverse operation matches my dividend, that means that my answer checked out. and that is doing division with a remainder using our division checklist, our t-chart, our steps for division, and our division question.